So how can you prepare for the CPI report tomorrow? What's going on, team? It's Ricky with Tactical Solutions. I tried to film this video with my newborn Remy. She just wasn't having it, and this is like my third time trying to film this. But I'm going to make it super short and sweet. I'm going to try to explain to you guys and keep it in a very simplistic way how tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. the Consumer Price Index report is released, and this is going to be on May 11th, 2022. And for those that are unaware, it's every previous month that is being released the month after, meaning that the report that is being released tomorrow, May 11th, is for the overall month of April. What is to be expected? This is the question that you should really be focusing on. At the end of the day, the market reacts to this report instantly. I just want you to have a better understanding of why the market reacted the way that it did and what's already being factored in. This is what I'm going to try to answer for you guys today. Again, I really hope that if you learned something new, please consider subscribing, maybe dropping a thumbs up. And don't forget, we do have a free Discord group, especially if you're trying to get connected. That's going to be that second link down below, and I can answer any questions you guys might have. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. I'm actually going to link this website so you guys can do your own due diligence. And once the report is released at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so 1 hour before the market opens, you guys have access to it. My goal is to make you guys self-sufficient, to not be dependent on anyone else, right? So this thing will be linked at the first link in the description. And let's go ahead and break down the previous month. So the reason that this report is so important is we are supposed to see inflation peak. This is the expectation that the overall market has. You can look at all these different reports, all these different news articles. Everyone is expecting that inflation has peaked the month prior. Let me explain this, right? This report makes it super complicated. I broke this report down last month and I made an entire video breaking it down. I can make another video based off of tomorrow's report once it's actually released, but that's on you guys. If this video gets over 1,000 likes, I just want to make sure that you guys, value it. And if you do, get this video over 1,000 likes, and I'll also break down tomorrow's report. The reason that this is such a big report is because inflation has been one of the biggest concerns for the entire market, right? That's why the Feds are taking such an aggressive approach, raising interest rates to fight back inflation. We can see, and I think that this website does a much better job overall breaking down the increase that we've seen with inflation. This can show a very steady increase from 6.8, 7, 7.5, 7.9, and then, so this is January, February, March. For the month of March, we reported an 8.5% increase of inflation. And let me actually break this down. What is the CPI report? What does it report? What does it calculate? What does it share with us? Why is that information important? I deal much better, or I learn in a much better way when it comes down to visuals. This report, all it literally does is based off of these are the main focuses for housing, apparel, food and beverages, gas, oil, energy, stuff like that. The main really consumer goods. It calculates what the average increase is of inflation, right? So you guys remember when last month or 2 months ago, everyone was talking about how expensive gas prices were, right? Well, we saw gas prices increase, but why? Well, Russia attacked Ukraine. Russia is a huge export of oil. United States had to find alternatives, although they weren't the main. But at the end of the day, that's what kind of was that domino effect. And that is what actually led to one of the biggest rises in inflation from, on average, every single month, right? Was less than 1 point. But for the month of March, of what was reported was 1.2, right? We saw a huge increase. And if we actually go to the actual breakdown, we can see that almost every single sector in what was reported saw an increase in single digits. But you can see that this energy sector saw an increase of 11, 18, 22. Fuel, gasoline, energy commodities. These were one of the biggest influences month over month of what we saw of an increase. That played a huge role in the month of March and why we saw such a big increase. So what is expected is that hopefully that has, month over month has cooled off. We're not going to see an increase. And therefore, the month of March would have been the peak of inflation. That would be amazing. Now, that is pretty much what is expected to be reported tomorrow. If we see an increase month over month, meaning that inflation didn't peak, the markets will most likely bleed, rightfully so, right? Because if all of a sudden we see that a report shows inflation is still rising, even after what was already reported in the month of March, I don't think that's factored into the market. I really don't. So my goal, and most of the market's goals, and again, please do your own due diligence, is that the month of March was the peak of inflation and that we should see a decline in inflation, meaning that from 8.5%, hopefully we can trickle back down to maybe 8%. That would be progress. That would really help alleviate the market and maybe make it less choppy and less bearish. And I think that this does a beautiful job explaining this. This shows the overall increase of inflation, right? We peaked 8.5%, and then now going into the month of April, we hope to see a decline. This is why the Feds have been taking such an aggressive approach when it comes down to fighting back inflation by increasing interest rates. For those that are unaware, when you increase interest rates, it makes it more expensive to borrow money. Making it more expensive to borrow money, hopefully you spend less money. By spending less money, hopefully inflation gets cut back. It's how it works. I learn much better in a visual aspect, and I know some of my viewers do as well. So that's why I wanted to break down, what is the CPI? What are we looking for? A decline. What's to be reported? For the month of April, it's going to be released tomorrow. I'm excited to follow up. I'm praying that the market goes up. I would love to see things kind of just begin to cool off, but again, we're here to embrace the challenge. I just wanted you guys to have a better understanding of what's to be expected based off of current market expectation. If you guys have any questions that you would like to ask me, especially if you're an absolute beginner, I hope that you know that I'm literally one message away. We have our free Discord group. It's going to be the second link in the description. You don't have to, but if you have questions, if you want to connect with like-minded individuals, click the second link down below, join our free Discord, and let's talk. Other than that, if you're part of my Learn Plan Profit group, tomorrow we have our in-person training at the TechBuds HQ. We're going to be talking about risk management, and I would love for you to be there. So if you're not part already of our Learn Plan Profit group, make sure you click the third link down below, or if you are, then just make sure you show up at the HQ, which is located in Chandler, Arizona at 3 p.m. And it's going to be for an hour, and we're just going to have an in-person session, talk about risk management, and I just want to be making sure that we tackle down some questions you might have, especially if you're just getting started. I really do appreciate you guys' time. I hope that you learned something new. Again, if you guys want me to break down tomorrow's report, all you have to do is get this video to over 1,000 likes, and I'll be more than happy to break it down for you guys. Hope that earned your thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.